fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com. I was meeting with a friend yesterday, and I've gotten to the point where don't ask me a question because the truth is going to come out. And
exactly.
Just don't do it.
If you ain't looking for the truth, don't come to me.
Don't do it because I can't hold my tongue. And she wants to be this stylist, boutique, but you're not doing anything in that nature, and I can't take you seriously if you're not doing those things. And I understood why people didn't take me seriously because I found myself in somebody else's lane. I was good at what I was doing and what I wanted to be, but I wasn't doing it for me. So how can I ask you to take me seriously if I'm living in somebody else's shoes?
And nobody can do what you do, and I think that that's a big problem that people face now. Like, you see what somebody else is doing and you want to do that when that's not your lane.
That's not your lane.
That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
But it's popular, it's getting that person money, it's getting that person applause. Oh, I want applause. I want money. Let me stand over here behind them.
And then a lot of times people aren't honest with themselves either. Like, I was thinking earlier today, I've been woke for almost 2 days, so so you get honesty, yes. And I was thinking, like, you know,
the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, good people. This is another great Sunday. This is the Conflict Resolution Show. I'm your host, Coach White, and I'm very excited once again for you to invite me into your living quarters today. So today we have a very exciting topic. Today we're going to be speaking specifically about community conflict. How do we reach and mentor young brothers in the hood culture? So I'm so excited about that. But as we always start each segment, I just have a couple quick announcements. So I've been in conversations lately, and some people have one understanding or another about holistic personal training. So holistic personal training does not just involve exercise in terms of physical activity. It does not just involve diet and making that a lifestyle, or the proper diet, that is. It involves much more than that. It involves training the whole person. So when we talk about training the whole person, as it pertains to conflict resolution, holistic personal training, as it applies to that, it involves the renewing of the mind. That is very, very important when we consider holistic personal training. Also, it involves exercising or training in righteousness according to the scriptures. Personal training. So this is a show where personal training is redefined and conflicts are resolved. So I had to ask myself at one point, will my works be burned when it's time for me to meet the judge? You know, is it really worth it? And as I recall the day that I really looked in my mirror, which we all should be doing at some point in our lives, I said, personal training is just not enough. It's not enough to train people to be physically strong. It's not enough to promote the importance of eating a good diet. Because if you're struggling with depression or stress eating, then you'll probably regain the weight anyway. So we have to try to get into the core of the whole person to find out what the real issues are. And that's where conflict resolution was birthed. So I had to kind of rebrand this, and instead of calling it my work, I needed to change the whole slogan and the whole mantra to say that my work is my ministry. So in my prayer and reflection time, I had to say, you know, Lord, how can I make this something that will be honorable to you? So then I found the scriptures, the greatest 2 commandments. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. So one of it speaks to stewardship, another speaks to relationships. So it was at that point that I began to birth this ministry and rebrand and rename it and start to do all the things that I do to the glory of God. Because the question is, what good is it to be physically strong but spiritually weak? What good is it to be the best at CrossFit, and I admire CrossFit athletes, but to be a compulsive liar? What good is it to be a great triathlete? And I have a lot of respect for triathletes. I pray to do one day. But to be a womanizer. Let's flip the switch a little bit. What good is it to have full knowledge of the scriptures but be morbidly obese? What good is it to be a bishop but you can't run a mile? So when we talk about holistic personal training and we talk about training the whole person, these are some of the questions that should be asked so that we can come up with a solution to the conflicts that you have in your life. So I hope you see how the 2 concepts emerge. So I'm not just your holistic personal trainer. I am your holistic personal trainer that specializes in resolving conflicts. So I just wanted to kind of clear that up, because some people struggle when they hear about holistic personal training and conflict resolution. They get confused. They say, is it 2 things? Is it one thing over here or one thing over there? No, it's all one thing. Because if there's conflicts that are occurring in your life, whether it be family conflicts, whether it be interpersonal conflicts, then they're going to affect you externally. Because these are internal problems that end up showing up on the outside, on our external person. So it's important that holistic personal training helps to resolve those things. And again, with the mindset of training the whole person. So with that said, I got a couple quick announcements. So for those that send me an email, for the viewers, thank you for viewing tonight. If you send me an email, it is Darrell White. That's DARRELL White .CRS@gmail.com. That's Darrell White .CRS@gmail.com. If you send me an email tonight between 7 and 9, I will offer you 2 free fitness training assessments and 2 free conflict resolution coaching sessions on me. Free is no better word than free. So those are my announcements. So one more time, my email is darrellwhite.crs@gmail.com. You can see the spelling of my name behind me. Shoot me an email. Say, Coach White, I'm in. And I will offer you 2 training assessments, fitness training assessments, that is, and 2 conflict resolution coaching sessions. Just for being a viewer, is to show my token of appreciation. So, also want to do a recap. If you did not catch the show last week, let me tell you something. I have had a lot of great people on so far. We just started October 21st. And the show last week was near and dear to my heart. It speaks to me personally. So last week we were talking about relationship conflicts. Why does I do become I don't? And I had Brother Robert Dooling on. He shared his personal story. And I'm going to tell you my takeaways. And I've watched this show probably 6 or 7 times this week. And I'm sure I'm going to watch it again. If you missed it, you can go to beexposedradio.com and check out the conflict resolution show. and see the show from last week, you can catch it on YouTube. Just search the Conflict Resolution Radio Show, --Be Exposed Radio. Or if you haven't liked the Conflict Resolution Show page, you can like the page and catch the show from last week as well. You have to see the show. If you're married or if you're preparing to be married, you're in the premarital phases, this show will be a blessing to you. So I'm going to tell you my takeaways. My first takeaway was, because the love was always conditional even from the beginning. So when we talk about why does I do become I don't, Brother Robert made a point to say the love was always conditional even from the beginning. So again, why does I do become I don't? Brother Robert hit on this over and over again throughout the segment. He said incorrect teaching produces incorrect beliefs, and incorrect beliefs produces incorrect behaviors. And he was talking specifically about the messages that come across on the pulpit on Sundays, or sometimes in our Bible studies and things of that nature, mentors in the church, whatever have you. And he even said, even, you know, girlfriends or your buddies, wherever you getting that incorrect teaching is going to produce incorrect beliefs, and those incorrect beliefs are going to produce incorrect behaviors as it pertains to your marriage. The third takeaway, why does I do become I don't? He said, I do will always become I don't when there are expectations imposed upon your spouse instead of God himself. Let me say that like I never said it before. I do will always become I don't when there are expectations imposed upon your spouse instead of on God himself. He made a point to say, sometimes we get in these relationships and we get these standards and expectations that we impose upon the other. And then we say things like, well, you're not making me happy because you're not meeting these expectations. He made a point to say these expectations should be really put on God to change the heart of the spouse. And we need to love them enough to be patient while God is molding them and shaping them. So please go back and check that show from last week. It will really be a blessing to you. When we come back, we will have Brother Sadiq Ali. He's going to discuss a little bit about his mentoring initiative, and we're going to get into the topic today. Again, this is the Conflict Resolution Show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew. Wait, Mom, what? Huh?
What? Hold
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
There's a rumor going around that Tyler Perry and Oprah are beefing. Well, let me tell you about this. Tyler, okay, told Oprah, bitch, if you don't have my money, we're going to have a problem. Ooh. Oprah said, what is the problem? Ooh. You said if I don't have your money, there was going to be a problem. So Oprah is standing her ground like, bitch, I'm in charge. You know, you may have a $250 million studio over there that you film all your shows and movies and stuff on, but I have the empire. That's what Oprah said.
Oh, these are her exact words. Allegedly.
I made this up. But
allegedly.
I made it all up. But there was a rumor that they were beefing. But Tyler confirms that they don't have any issues. So it says it was recently reported on the rumors that was swirling that the twosome were on the outs over constructive criticism of a Perry show. Well, I got some constructive criticism, and we can be on the outs, Tyler, and I don't give a damn because I'm going to make a promo out of this anyway and share it to your page. I need the scenes on Have and Have-Nots to be like 5% shorter, each one. I want you to watch an episode of The Young and the Restless, because this is supposed to be a soap opera. No one's dialogue on The Young and the Restless is like this. You don't have to talk about the random plant in the corner for 25 minutes on one damn scene.
They talk about random plants.
It was a blood stain on the floor for 5 episodes. I can't take it. We need to pick this up. I'm sorry. I love the Have and the Have-Nots, and I continue to watch it in its 5th season, but I get so mad when I can go get myself a glass of water and come back, and he had just started the next sentence in his first paragraph. I can't stand it.
They just want to get the point across.
It's not but you don't get the point for 4 episodes. It's too much. So, now according to ET Online reports, Tyler Perry has a pre-cut and dried response to, a pretty cut and dry response to the rumors about him and Oprah. Here's what he says. It's completely false.
What was that? That was your Tyler Perry impression? Oh, God. What?
That was my Medea voice.
Oh, God.
Nothing is accurate in this article except for mine and Oprah's names. That's what he said. I mean, you see what I mean? You gotta stick around. I mean, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. I mean, they pay us to do this, so we go off every
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org.
Because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bathwater to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's time to move your child into the next type of seat? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. That's safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, good people. I'm your host, Coach White. I got one of my brothers with me, Brother Sadiq. Thank you for your time, sir.
Hey, peace and blessings. Hey, any invitation is always a positive one because, listen, a lot of folks don't get invited anywhere. So I appreciate the invitation.
Yeah, man. Listen, man, you're a great brother, man. I knew that from the time we met. I said, this is a great guy, right? I definitely want to be connected to his greatness. So I appreciate you making time, man. And
much love.
Yeah, definitely. So this is near and dear to my heart because it's difficult to truly mentor the brothers that are caught up in selling drugs, the brothers that are in a gang culture, what we deem to be the hood culture. Most of them have mentors already. So be it the gang members, be it the drug dealers that have power, women, cars, money, and things of that nature. So I hope that one of the takeaways from the topic is to talk about how to really keep them interested and engaged, you know, because it's easy to have a mentor identify or mentee identified, but sometimes there's a lost in contact and no energy put into reconnecting, either from the mentee's perspective or from the mentor's perspective, because life is busy. And we form these circles, and from a mentee's perspective, the mentor may not be in their immediate circle. So it's important for us as mentors to figure out, how do we get into their worlds? How do we get into their immediate circle? So I wanted to bring you in so we can have a conversation about that and chop it up. If you want to talk about your initiative, we can do that as well. But I just wanted to pick your brain.
Sure.
Because I know you're in the business of mentoring.
That's right. So once again, yeah, really appreciate the invitation. Again, you know, kudos and much love to you and everything that you're doing in terms of conflict resolution radio. And again, I just think it's a brilliant concept in terms of, again, just bringing together groups of folks and having these conversations. Because again, as you alluded to during your intro, conflict, the first and most impactful conflict that we'll ever have, the most important conflict is with self.
Yes.
You know, we talk about in Islam this concept of jihad, right? Everybody talk about jihad, right? That's holy war against the infidels. But jihad, the root of jihad, right? The word means struggle, not war, but the word means struggle. Okay. And the first most important jihad is with self, that internal struggle, man. So I just lay all that out just to let you know I really dig and appreciate the concept around the conflict resolution, and again identifying that conflict within self before we go and start dealing with any other conflict, because truly how we deal with others in conflict is an indication of how we feel about self. So the connection is always there, and it all originates from self and how we feel about self, our own self-image. How are we taking care of ourselves in terms of the self-care piece? So on and so forth, man. So much love to you, big bro.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
You know, so in the context of mentoring, you know, there's so many different ways that we can, you know, we can take this conversation. You know, first and foremost, you know, for those who don't know me, my name is Sadiq Ali. Once again, and I'm the executive director, the leader of an organization called Maryland Mentor. And our mission is to increase the quality and quantity of mentoring relationships across the state of Maryland. And through that work, I'm really blessed with the opportunity to be exposed to tons, like Be Exposed, right? Y'all saw that. Y'all get that later. But I have the opportunity to be exposed to hundreds of different mentoring programs across the state, and to be able to provide training, different resources, technical assistance, really help these programs grow and develop, so that way they're able to support and again, ultimately work with more young people than they were before. So that's part of my passion. I'm fortunate that my job, my career is directly aligned with my passion.
Yeah.
And then prior to this role, I founded an organization called Millionaire Manners Academy, obviously, which is how we work together, which is training and leadership development, focused on really working with our young men, particularly our young men of color, and just really working with them so they can really recognize the greatness that they have inside, and then ultimately impact the world around them through this idea of service.
Yeah.
So Millionaire Manners, I've written a couple of books. Fortunately, you guys can learn all about that millionaire-manners.com or marylandmentor.net. But through my work, I've had the opportunity to work with hundreds, if not thousands, of young men across the country in various capacities, so on and so forth. So this idea of mentoring is one that is very near and dear to my heart as well.
Yeah.
I'm an active mentor, as well as I always point out to folks, I'm also an active mentee.
Yeah.
And that's, maybe a great point to start the conversation with. Offline before we got going here this evening, we were talking about this idea of parenting, right? Of do as I say, not as I do, right? And our young people, they despise a lot of things, but there's few things they despise more than a hypocrite. Than some old person, some adult telling them to do something that they know for a fact that you're not doing.
Yeah.
There's no quicker way to lose credibility with a young person than that.
Yeah.
So I always like leading with the fact that I'm a mentor as well as a mentee, because if I want them to be engaged with positive mentors, as you already noted, I got to let them know that this is not something that you grow out of. I'm a stay with a mentor as long as I'm alive.
That's good. We're going to pause right quick. We're going to jump right back in when we get back. Stay tuned. This is the Conflict Resolution Show. We'll be right back.
My name is Ruth Rusey. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusey. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
My name is Meera Batra. I have been in this country 32 years, and this is how I live united. America has always been the land of promise, and in my community, many families have come for a better life. Coming from another culture myself, I know the desire to become part of a community, to feel at home, and to gain the tools for our children and families to succeed. So I advocate for these families with United Way. United Way empowers them to look beyond their histories and to see what opportunities are available. We help them get involved with their kids' schools, network within.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Look, we just having a conversation even off air. And we're going to pick up where we left off. Thank you for the introduction. So we were talking about how we can, even as a mentor, we can learn from our mentees. We were talking about, I was sharing with Brother Sadiq how my brother Jamar and my buddy Rob that was on last week always talks about their ministry of compassion, which integrates with understanding and empathy. So let's pick up where we left off with that in mind, because the hood culture is probably the hardest culture to tap into in terms of mentoring and keeping them engaged.
That's right. That's right. And it's for a ton of reasons. Like, number one, the folks that purvey certain archetypes in our culture the number one objective is that we get hooked to it and we think that this is life. So it's working as planned because the folks that are majority pushing a certain, again, archetype and a culture and you know, to our young men, to our young brothers, they don't look like you and I. So let's be clear on that. So the number one way for us to fight back is, you know, as I always say, is to present viable alternatives. And this is something I don't think we talk enough about in terms of, you know, how do we break that sort of Pied Piper of hip hop? We were talking just off the air, like, man, I'm a hip hop head through and through, and I understand that the music of today is the language of our young people. So love it or hate it, you got to understand it, and you got to understand that this is what our young people are being influenced by, and this is today's culture. So in order to offer viable alternatives, number one, you got to understand the culture of young people today. And anytime we start talking crazy about the music or about what they wearing, etc., young people, most people in general, but most young people especially, they don't separate the issues. Most adults can't even separate issues. We conflate everything. So if you tell a young person, man, stop listening to that music, or that music is bad, or your hair is, you know, your hair is bad, cut your hair. You know, what you're really telling, what that young person hears is, I'm not good enough how I am. You don't respect me. You don't love me. You don't like me. You don't like my music. So we got to understand this culture before we even formulate an approach and think about even approaching them. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's big. I never looked at it that way. I was just in a conversation recently with my brother Jamar and my buddy Sterling about just that. And I'm paraphrasing when I say this. Meeting them where they are is important. And I guess that's a part of the compassion piece as well, because if you're not compassionate, I would think that we don't even want to meet them where they are. We want to say, or a way of saying, hey, cut your hair, and I'm paraphrasing what you said, is almost like a way of saying, I don't want to meet you where you are. You need to come to where I am.
Right. Cut your hair before you can have a conversation with me. That's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. And I think, you know, again, a lot of times, you know, as adults, again, for me, it's all about approach. You know, so for a lot of times as adults, we got to check our approach. And, you know, again, a lot of times we are just saying, hey, stop something. But again, we don't have no viable alternatives. So if I'm going to say, and we talk about this all the time, even as it pertains to reaching some of our, you know, our young people that are the most disconnected. Those are our young men that are on the corners, right? They're doing X, Y, and Z. They selling, or they're doing whatever it is that they think that they have to do in order to survive, right? But a lot of times we'll come and just say, hey, man, you guys got to stop that. We got to stop killing. The violence is only a symptom of a larger issue. Youth violence, stopping youth violence is not a thing. That's not a real thing. That's a symptom. That's like saying, you know, I was just having a conversation with one of my buddies, like, talk about, oh, fix your attitude. They got a bad attitude. An attitude is only a symptom. You don't fix an attitude. An attitude is a result of a mindset and lots of other things that go into creating a mindset. So we're talking about, again, dealing with our young people. We can't just say, stop that. Stop that. Stop being, you know, stop being disrespectful or stop, right? We got to come with viable alternatives. We got to come with whatever it is that I want them to stop doing. You better have a replacement. And you better be prepared to help them implement that replacement.
So stop something and start something. And what I'm hearing is saying stop something without saying start something is not going to work.
That's in one ear and out the other. You know that as a trainer, right? If I'm gonna say stop eating junk food, you better be prepared with a meal plan. You better come with this.
That's real.
I was at the health food, one of the vegan spots, and they had the buffalo cauliflower bites. Bomb. But if you're gonna say, hey, stop with the fried chicken, hey, try these, you know what I mean, sneak it in. Like, hey, I want you to try these buffalo cauliflower bites. You know what I mean? They're going to blow your mind. They are very good, though. You they're a bomb, man. If y'all ain't never tried those buffalo cauliflower bites,
for sure,
make sure you get some.
Wow.
Make sure you get some.
That's a good parallel. That's a good parallel. So that's a real life scenario. So we have a Well, let me back up. Before I talk about the mentee perspective, let me talk about the viewer who may want to be a mentor.
That's right.
May not like rap music. So that means something, right, to the youth that they want to mentor.
That's right.
What's step one in connecting?
That's right. And I wanted to clarify something too. I'm going to come to that. But you actually made an excellent point that I didn't make earlier.
Okay.
That I wanted to clarify. What I said in my lead-in was that I'm a mentor and a mentee, meaning I have a mentor.
Okay.
Right, meaning I have somebody that I still talk to and look up to. I'm a grown man, but there's other grown men that I look up to.
I got you.
That I pick up the phone and call, like, hey, what you think about this?
Yeah.
You know, so on and so forth. As well as the point that you made, which is so important, which is, funny enough, an answer to the question you just asked me in terms of, hey, what's one of the first things that we can do to make a connection with a young person?
Yeah.
Because that's really what we're talking about.
Yeah.
How do we go about making a connection with a young person? Which, again, ironically enough, same way you make a connection with an adult, is by edification. If I understand that a young person is full of things that they can teach me, as is every other person walking the planet, right? Message.
Yeah.
But especially with our young people whose self-esteem is developing.
Yes, sir.
Whose confidence is highly influenceable, right? It's highly malleable. It's still forming.
Yeah.
So if I'm approaching a young person with humility, first and foremost, right? Because again, we don't approach our young people with humility. It's all like, again, yo, do this because I said do it.
Yeah.
Ain't no quicker way to lose a young person than coming with that talk.
Yeah.
Right? So, but when I come with young person teach me something,
yes,
it's a whole different conversation, because you said a whole lot in that. I think you have something to teach me. I think you're valuable.
Yeah.
I think you're knowledgeable.
Yeah.
I trust you to teach me. The list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
So that's one of the first things we do is, as adults, we got to shift our mind frame to, like, y'all remember the old song, right? Captain Saver, y'all know what, right?
Yeah.
We think we got to be Captain Saver with our young people. When in reality, a lot of them, they don't need us to save them. They need support.
Okay.
And in a lot of the mentors that I train, I tell them in some instances, delete the word help from your vocabulary.
Okay.
Because a lot of times our young people don't need help. They need support. And those are different things. Sometimes our young people need help.
Okay. Break it down.
So help has a lot to do with I'm relying on me to do something for you.
Okay.
Support is transferring it so it's self-reliance.
I got you.
So that way, right, it's help is giving you a fish. Support is teaching you how to fish.
I got you.
See, when I'm teaching you how to fish, I'm saying to you, I have confidence that you can do it.
Yeah.
But when I'm giving a young person a fish, right, when I'm giving them all the answers, not only am I teaching them to be dependent, I'm also subtly and subconsciously telling them, champ, I don't think you can do it without me.
That's big.
It's sinister, man. It's really, really subtle, and it's sinister. And a lot of us, and again, this is not just to bring this to the macro. This is not just with young people. We do this in our romantic relationships. We do this with friends and family. We always swooping in and doing something for somebody.
Yeah.
Instead of asking them questions, and then lo and behold, they was better at the thing than you were the whole time.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, if you want to call in and be a part of the conversation, the number's on the bottom of the screen. Please call in, and we would love to entertain any questions that you may have on this topic, because this is a community conflict.
Absolutely.
So we need community input. All right, so we spoke about the first step for the person that's looking to mentor.
That ain't even the first step. I'm gonna let you finish that question, but that's not even really the first step.
Let's go to the first step. Let's call that step 2.
Let's call that step 2. I would say step 1 is, again, as is the case with everything, why you want a mentor.
Okay.
Why is it important to mentor?
Why is it important?
What does a mentoring mean to you?
Yeah.
I would say, folks should start there, because, and again, there's no right or wrong answer, but if that why, I would say, doesn't include, helping this young person to uncover their own riches. If you think you just gonna come in again as just wise old Yoda, you know what I'm saying, to the young old experienced Luke Skywalker, or again, I was using Mr. Miyagi Daniel's son.
Yeah, yeah.
If you think you just about to come in and just wax on, wax off, and this young person just gonna be breaking the boards and all that, you got another thing coming.
Yes, sir.
So I would say starting with like, why do I want a mentor?
Okay.
Answering that question. I would say second question is, you know, what does mentoring mean to me?
Okay.
I would say number 3, how committed am I to mentoring?
Okay.
Because something you said in the very, very beginning of our conversation around how, you know, folks come and folks go in the lives of our young people, that speaks directly to consistency.
Yes, sir.
So how committed am I going to be? If I'm not going to be there, if I can't sacrifice something, that's another big word.
Yes, sir.
If I'm not prepared to sacrifice something for this relationship and any other relationship that I'm in, because all relationships are give and take.
Yes, sir.
If I'm not prepared to sacrifice something as a part of this relationship with this young person, I got no business considering myself or getting ready to jump out there.
I got you.
And then lastly, I would say, you know, and it's by far this list isn't exhaustive or all inclusive of those questions that we can have sort of internally before we jump out there. But I would say, you know, hey, what are the assets that I bring to the relationship?
Okay.
Because it's important, which I don't think enough of us do often enough, which is, what am I good at?
Okay.
What do I bring to a relationship? And again, not just, that could be applied to all relationships that we're in, friendships, romantic, whatever. What am I bringing to this, right? Again, we sitting down at dinner, you at least got to bring a fork or a knife, and everybody got at least a plate or a fork. You might not even got to bring the food.
Yes, sir.
But bring a fork and a knife, bring a napkin, bring the candle, bring the ambiance, bring something. But ask yourself, what are those things that I'm prepared to bring to the relationship? Because you might not even be bringing all of your assets. You might not even be bringing your good china.
Yeah.
You might be bringing something else.
Yeah.
I would say start there first.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. And as you were talking, I was thinking about, there was a time, I'll never forget, one of my mentees, Darrell. Man, I promise you, I went to this young man's house and we were doing family therapy, right? So I was assigned to be his mentor. It was a family therapy dynamic. And every time I went to this kid's house, he would leave. West Baltimore kid. I would come around 4, like around that after school time. And I said, hey, grandma, how you doing? Pew, gone.
He'll see you.
Yeah, gone.
Wow.
I kept coming. Now, I was discouraged, but I kept going. So I went, and I'm telling you, for a whole month, he would leave. Month 2, he would leave. Wow. Month 3, he would stay for about 10 minutes. And then he said, I got to go outside. My boy's outside. And he was, at the time, maybe 13. So I talked to grandma, and I said, Grandma, I said, how can I connect with this kid? We gonna go to a break in a minute, and then I want to hear your feedback. How can I connect to him? She said, Coach White, you got to understand that he had a mentor before you, right? That's gone. He's not even around anymore, so he doesn't have a lot of faith in the mentors that he has. So here you are, a new face. He doesn't know how long you're going to be around.
That's right.
I said, Grandma, I'm going to keep coming. 3rd month, 1st week, 10 minutes. 2nd week, ran out the door. 3rd week, I caught him on his way out the door. And I said, we're going to break in 15 seconds. I said, let me just ask you one question. What do you like? You like football? He said, yeah, why? I said, I got a flag football game going on this weekend. You just be here and I'll come pick you up. I picked them up, man. We've been connected ever since. Wow. But we're going to go to a break. We'll be right back. This is the Conflict Resolution Show. Stay tuned. Yeah, man.
Listen to this flashback of Skyline Radio Show.
So where we at? Where we talk about the effects and what's going on in these schools.
Yeah.
And what people don't understand. Just real briefly, I just want to talk a little bit about what people say bullying is or is not. So bullying comes in many forms. It's a teasing, it's the cyberbullying, it's the texting, it's the phone calls, it's the posting of pictures and people's personal information to pretty much cause them harm, to have them feel insecure. It's the sex assaults that people actually put out there. There are physical assaults, and there are mental assaults and emotional assaults. And what I like to remind individuals that any aggressive behavior towards anyone that is unwanted and unwarranted, and an individual asks you to stop. Let's stop there. Stop.
And they should be respecting that.
Respecting that and respecting yourself, because when you're able to respect another person, you're able to respect yourself. And the way that you're able to show that respect is that you know that you have a gift and you know you're uniquely made and that you matter, and then you also acknowledge that the next person beside you matters as well.
Right.
You know, and we lose that sometimes. Bullying is a behavior that underestimates the lives and legacy of you. I'm sure that when they was bullying me, and I'm sure when they was bullying you, they didn't understand who you're going to become later on. I didn't know.
Right, because I'm popping. I can't. All right, let me tell you, all those people who felt like they wanted to say whatever to me, look at me now. It's like, no, y'all don't understand, but I've been through some things, okay?
And you know what? No. I applaud you and I salute you, because a lot of times we do not take the time to say, I'm okay, and I'm okay with me, and there's nothing wrong with me, and I'm amazing, and I'm blessed, and I'm strong, and I matter.
Join us every Wednesday at 7 p.m. for Skyline Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
You want to start off?
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
It's the Conflict Resolution Show. Again, I am your host, Coach White. This is a show where personal training is redefined and conflicts are resolved. So today, again, we're talking about community conflicts. How do we reach and mentor our young brothers in the hood culture? So I have brother Sadiq Ali with me, and we were just talking about one of my mentees, Darrell, who I lost contact with because, you know, that numbers change so frequently. But I'll never forget making that commitment to him to go pick him up and going back that early Sunday morning to find him sitting on the steps with a football in his hand.
Wow, ready.
Ready. So I went to pick him up, took him to the football games, and every Sunday, he just kept going, and it's that one football allowed us to build the greatest relationship at the time, and then I can minister to him. But before, there was no connection, you know. So it was a great victory, to say the least. Family got to know me really well. Grandmother, hey, you know, come on in, you know. So I only mention that story because you mentioned the word consistency and the importance of being consistent if we want to stay in contact and stay connected with our mentees that we identify. Consistency is real important.
That's right. And you know, again, it's hard work, because you said during that story too that the grandmother related to you that he was in a mentoring relationship with someone who wasn't as consistent.
Yeah.
And a lot of times our educators, our mentors, folks that might attempt to establish relationships with our young people, they might not realize that a young person, like they might have seen somebody like you before, heard somebody like you, and that relationship didn't go well. So now as a result, there was already a wall up, but now y'all hear your man down 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. He talking about now, the wall got to be see-through or got to be concrete and steel and all this.
Yeah.
So now with our young people, it's not just a fence now.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a concrete wall up with a steel reinforcement.
Yeah.
That now the next person is going to have to either scale over or knock down, and the answer remains consistency. But here's the secret though. What I found is that they want nothing else than for you to scale that wall or to knock down that wall.
Mm.
But they're not going to let you know that they want that to happen.
Yes, sir.
So it's like, that old kind of like hard to get thing. So they put up these barriers to see, right, I'm going to carry this dude for 2 months to see if he's going to show up for 3.
Yeah.
I'm going to carry this dude for 11 weeks to see if he's going to show up on week 12.
Yeah.
And when you showed up, that's why he stopped to answer your question. And then boom, when you said you was gonna be there, he's like, man, I'm gonna give this dude one more shot.
Yeah.
And listen, short of you being dead, bro, if you wouldn't have showed up on that Friday or whenever that game was,
yeah, so
it would have been almost impossible for the next person.
Yes, sir.
But because now you did that, now that's gonna hopefully, Lord willing, make that young person a bit more trusting the next time. So I think that's really a powerful illustration that you just shared, man. It's like,
yeah, man.
That's really the name of the game. Is like, we got to tell ourselves that, again, it's about sacrifice and how committed am I going to be? How consistent am I going to be? Because there are significant challenges and barriers that our young people go through in some of our worst environments that we can't even imagine. We can't even imagine.
No, sir.
So we got work to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So what about, well, I guess I would ask, can everybody be mentored?
That's a great question. That's a great question. I believe that everybody has something to offer. But I would say the short answer is that, not everybody should. Everybody could, but not everybody, not everybody should, meaning, there's a lot of self-work, as is the point of this show, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of self-work that has to be done before some folks, have the demeanor and have some of those other pieces in place where they could be great mentors.
Yeah.
So I'll just say that. I'll
Leave
just
it
say
there.
that.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about the young man who is caught up in the gang. And he's so engulfed in the belly and the core, which is the core rather, of that gang culture. And he may go to school. He may be able to connect with Brother Ali, who's a teacher. He may be able to connect with Coach White, but he's going back home.
That's right.
And that's where his loyalty lies. And I would say that some people would make the argument that, and I guess it's a different question as I ponder, everybody can't be saved per se. Or we have folks that will put their energy more on the people who want to be mentored versus those that don't. I'm still scratching my head, and I guess the best I can come up with is that even the mentee has to be willing to receive anybody that's going to offer the service. Is that fair?
Again, this is such a complicated topic, Our young people, they are nothing but reflections of us.
Yeah.
Right? So the experiences that they go through are as a result of us.
Yeah.
So I think to a certain extent it's accurate what you're saying in terms of, it makes it easier for us to reach a young person that's kind of reaching out to us.
Yeah.
But I think all of them can be reached.
Yeah.
It's just that some of them have gone through so many different experiences, some way worse than others.
Yeah.
Some a little bit better than others.
Yeah.
So it makes the work on the surface easier for those that would be doing the reaching out from an adult standpoint.
Well, let me put you on pause on that thought. We gotta go to a break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. This is the Conflict Resolution Show.
Join the club that gives you stuff.
Hey, thanks!
Radio Loyalty.
Here's how it works.
Just click on the Radio Loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then, you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for stuff in the Radio Loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple, right?
Radio Loyalty.
Click that banner to join now.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artists, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
I was meeting with a friend yesterday, and I've gotten to the point where don't ask me a question because the truth is going to come out. And
exactly.
Just don't do it.
If you ain't looking for the truth, don't come to me.
Don't do it because I can't hold my tongue. And she wants to be this stylist, boutique, but you're not doing anything in that nature, and I can't take you seriously if you're not doing those things. And I understood why people didn't take me seriously because I found myself in somebody else's lane. I was good at what I was doing and what I wanted to be, but I wasn't doing it for me. So how can I ask you to take me seriously if I'm living in somebody else's shoes?
And nobody can do what you do, and I think that that's a big problem that people face now. Like, you see what somebody else is doing and you want to do that when that's not your lane.
That's not your lane.
That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
But it's popular. It's getting that person money. It's getting that person applause. Oh, I want applause. I want money. Let me stand over here behind them.
And then a lot of times people aren't honest with themselves either. Like, I was thinking earlier today, I've been woke for almost 2 days, so so you get honesty, yes. And I was thinking, like,
the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We're about to wrap up with Brother Sadiq. Again, man, I appreciate your time. So let's jump back where we left off for the sake of time.
Sure.
We were talking about those who, I guess, in essence, only want to mentor the young men that want to be mentored. And as you were talking during the break, I was thinking there's so many, it's probably more that are not reaching out to be mentored than vice versa. I would gather to believe that you even have to be at a certain level of maturity to even recognize you need a mentor.
That's right.
So, yeah, just you want to jump in on that?
Yeah. And again, like we said, I mean, there's so many layers to this conversation. I mean, we could talk for 8 hours and only still scratch the surface. But what I will say is I agree 1,000% with that assessment, and that there are way more brothers that could benefit from mentoring. And again, just having a positive role model, because again, there's formal mentoring, like through a program, etc. And then there's informal mentoring, right? Which is what everybody can do. You don't got to go through no background check. You don't got to do anything. If you see a young person that looks like they could benefit from a kind word, then give them a kind word.
Yeah.
Start the relationship organically, because all of us, depending on where you live, me and my wife and our family, we actually just moved back into Baltimore City.
Yeah.
So I see young men now more frequently hanging out doing X, Y, and Z. But before I get on my high horse and I look to start ministering, first I got to minister through a greeting.
Yeah.
Just saying a hello,
Absolutely.
Just saying a good morning, good evening.
Yeah.
Into your story, and then the next month I can get into, like, man, how you doing? You live around here?
Yeah.
We get one question like, yeah, you know, I live around the corner. Man, listen, I live across the way. Man, have a great day, soldier.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. The next time it's like, man, you in
to
school and you add to it.
Building
That's exactly right. So it's complicated, but we don't have to overcomplicate it as it is. It starts with real basic stuff.
Yeah.
So we got to approach it like at a young person by a young person basis, and we don't have the luxury of judging our young people, because really that's really ultimately kind of a form of judging when we're saying, you know, just because this young person is reaching out to me, I deem them more worthy to be supported. Versus, like, to your point, if that other young person, that other young man hasn't matured to the fact where they recognize that they can benefit from somebody else.
Yeah.
Again, that's our fault. I take that as my fault as an adult.
Yeah.
In this world. So all of our young people need some combination of help and support and guidance, and it's all of our individual responsibility as community members. You know, whatever community you belong to. I'm a black man, so I'm talking about the black community. Whatever community you're a part of, you know, insert yourself there. But as it pertains to my community, our community, there's a ton of young people that all are worthy of love and help to a certain extent, and support, edification, so on and so forth. So it's heavy. James Baldwin said it, right? To be truly conscious, right?
Yeah.
Of what's going on is to walk around and be perpetually enraged, as we should be to a certain extent, man. Because again, make no mistake about it, this was engineered for it to look exactly the way it looks, and we can never stop talking about that level of it as well. But meanwhile, every man, woman, and child can do something. Not everybody can do everything, but everybody can do something. And that's really what it starts. You know, especially, again, just kind of closing that out. We talked about community in the very beginning. It's going to take it's going to take our community's collective intellect, talent, skills, ability, horsepower, muscle. It's going to take all of us chipping in something in order for this thing to improve for all of us. I'll just say one more note, then I'll shut up, man, and pass it back to you. I'm just like, I tell a lot of brothers, like, you know, as we talk about success, right? Individual success and individual accolades and achievements. I tell my brothers now, like, I don't care nothing about no individual success. If it's just you and you're doing well, you got a nice car, you got a nice house, it's just you and you're doing well, that don't impress me.
Yes, sir.
That don't impress me. Individual accolades and success don't impress me if you're not doing something that represents service to somebody else, preferably somebody that look like you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So with that being said, and again, I can't thank you enough for your time. I've heard some adults say, you know what, my life is not where it needs to be. Therefore, I'm not comfortable with mentoring anybody. What would you say to that adult viewer?
A young person will take you exactly the way you are. If you approach them with sincerity, humility, you come with a little bit of edification, helping that young person again, right? Because if you're going to help them see that they have greatness inside already. I think that's a positive thing. The mentors that I work with and that I train, I tell them all the time, like, as a matter of fact, one of my good homies, he hit me a little while back. And he said, man, Sadiq, I'm running out of stuff to do with my mentee, with my young person. I said, bro, this is an intelligent brother, law degree, great career, etc., responsible brother. I said, my man, you're a responsible, career-oriented, successful, right, young black man. Just ride him around with you in the car. Let him see how you live life as a responsible man.
Simple.
You got dry cleaning to go pick up? Let him ride with you to go pick up your dry cleaning, bro. Our young people need to see examples of responsible adulting, is what I always say.
That's right.
Not flawless. Not flawless, but responsible.
Yeah.
And there's a difference, right?
Break it down.
I tell my friends who are educators all the time, when you're having a bad day, that is an excellent teachable moment for your students.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, sir.
It's to show them responsible conflict resolution.
Yes, sir.
It's to come in a classroom and just open up like, listen, class, normally I'm up here. Today, you know, I'm kind of like here with it.
Yeah.
My dog died.
Yep,
you know what? I got into an argument with my wife.
Mm-hmm.
I broke up with my boyfriend. I broke up with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
But to show them that we're not perfect, that we're not flawless, but we showed up anyway.
That's right.
And I'm dealing with my conflict in a responsible manner.
Yes.
I didn't come in here drunk. I didn't come in here high.
Yeah.
I'm not about to curse you out for my personal problems.
Mm-hmm.
But I am going to let you know that I'm human and I go through things too.
Yeah.
But I'm working on it with a responsible lens or whatever, you know, with a responsible approach.
Yeah.
Your young people will appreciate the hell out of that.
That's outstanding. And can I add to that?
Please, your show, brother.
Listen. We can also ask them on those moments for encouragement.
Wow, great one.
Yeah.
Can somebody in the class share with me how you getting through something right now? Because I got something going on, which is another form of edification and self-esteem development for our young people, brother.
Boom.
There it is. It's complicated, but we don't need to overcomplicate it.
That's right, man. That's right. Simplicity.
That's right.
Man. So, listen, I can't thank you enough, man, for coming on the show. This is definitely part one.
That's right. Right. I'm committed to return.
Yeah, I appreciate that. If anybody needs to reach you or wants to contact you on social media, you mind sharing your information?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm a heavy social media user, although I've not been on social media as much lately because I've been in my study and I've been in my cave, right? I'm normally like suited and booted, right? But I got paint on my face and on my jeans because part of my goals and my personal game plan this year is to get deeper into our real estate investment work as well. So
yes, sir.
We're not only investing in young people, we invested in this real estate as well. So so I haven't been on social media as much, but I can be reached any time though on Instagram or Facebook, Sadiq A. Ali on Facebook. At the Sadiq Ali Show on Instagram.
Yeah.
At Maryland Mentor on Instagram or at Millionaire Manners on Instagram as well. Okay. And for anyone who's interested in learning about more, you know, just how they can be involved, if you're thinking about you want to be a mentor, etc., visit our website at marylandmentor.net. for more information about becoming a mentor. We have a database there that will allow folks to be able to search for a program in the area that they can actually go and volunteer with. Or if you're a parent listening to this and you're thinking about finding a program, or you'd like to find a program for your young woman or your young man, etc., you can also visit marylandmentor.net. And we have a database called the Mentoring Connector, which allows folks to learn about mentoring opportunities throughout the state. So
that's awesome, man. Man, I appreciate your work. I know you got to go. We're approaching a break shortly, but I just want to at least let you know what we're going to be talking about during the next segment. I think you would probably remember. Do you remember a long time ago when Charles Barkley made the statement about, "I'm not your role model"?
It's infamous, man. It's one of the most infamous statements ever.
Yeah, and so most recently,
and Barkley is an idiot, you know, and anything besides basketball. Let's also throw that out there.
Yeah. So recently, and I just did a Google search before I came on the show, and I'm looking at a website, sandrarose.com. The article is called "Cardi B, I'm Not Your Daughter's Role Model." Thursday, February 8th, 2018. So I'm going to be talking about that probably when you're in your car driving off, because I guess
it's dangerous, bro.
Speak on it then, bro.
It's dangerous, man. You know, That's a very dangerous. That's a very dangerous stance, I'll say. You know, for a number of reasons. Number one, you know, those two individuals, right? They aren't exclusive, right?
That's right.
They lots of folks feel that way, but I would say, you know, from an entertainment standpoint, any athlete, professional athlete, if you're a rapper, singer, entertainer, whatever, your fame and your fortune is predicated on service to your fans.
Yes, sir.
So let's be clear on that.
Yeah.
There is no Charles Barkley if no one shows up to the games, if
That's
no one
right.
cares, right? So for someone to very foolishly and mistakenly say that they're not a role model when you have a platform and folks actually pay you to entertain us, etc., and to do certain things, that also comes with a responsibility.
Yes, sir.
That is part of the, for me, that's part of the contract. That's part of the deal.
Yeah.
So it's incredibly naive, irresponsible, and potentially dangerous. Now, granted, folks didn't ask for that, but don't be naive enough to think that your actions don't impact the next person.
Yeah.
And I would just say, you know, let folks know to respond accordingly and to proceed with caution.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a flip side to that coin, right? So if you understand that and you don't want to be irresponsible with your fame and your fortune, then say nothing. That would be my answer then. Say nothing. Offer no opinions on anything. Be more like Mike.
Yeah.
Be more like Mike.
That's real. That's real.
Who has no opinions about anything, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah.
If that's your thing, then do that.
Yeah.
But don't act like if you do something, don't be deceived and think that, you know, I have this platform.
Yeah.
And I have an opportunity to be of service. Don't be mistaken. Like you know, there's a responsibility that comes along with that.
Yeah. And I think it's I could be wrong, but I think it's a way of saying that I want to live my life the way I want to live it, and I don't want to be responsible for your kids if in fact they decide to walk like I'm walking. Nah.
Get off of social media. Again, that's irresponsible and that's naive.
Yeah.
Then don't broadcast your activities in. If that's going to be your stance.
Yeah.
Like let's be serious. Reality isn't the way we want it to be or the way it would or how it, you know, right? Reality is how it is right now.
Yes, sir.
And the reality is that lots of folks have big followings and are influential.
Yeah.
So just man up, woman up, right?
Yeah.
For, you know, that's like an old school phrase now, which has a certain connotation, so I probably shouldn't even use it. But take responsibility for your actions.
Amen. Boom. That's one to leave on. Again, man, I can't thank you enough. This is that was a great way to usher me into the topic after the break. Stay tuned. This is the Conflict Resolution Show. We look to see Brother Sadiq Ali again. Thank you again, good brother. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Bro, you want to take a picture?
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Now listen to BeExposedRadio.com. Check out this fire flashback.
We need to relearn what it is to be these bosses and how we conduct ourselves as business. business-minded individuals and just people in general. Really, I let my gut, and if I call it gut or God or whatever, I'm led by that energy. I know where it comes from. I know where it's, taking me, and you have to figure out what is important to you, and don't play this game. It's a game that we've learned to play, this chess game, and life is not a chess game. Life is real, bones, flesh, blood, decisions.
Make sure you check out the Artist Exchange Show every Monday and Friday at 2 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council. Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew. Wait. Mom, what?
What? Hold
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Check out this snippet from the new season of Talk Lately with Monty about Jennifer Holliday.
Anyway, let's get back to...
Yeah, well, what I wanted to say is that I can understand 100% where Jennifer Holliday is coming from, and that's sort of kind of where my 20% came from when I basically came out and said who I was.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, good people. So, supposed to have another guest on tonight, Coach Terrance Wheeler. If you're listening, good brother, I guess we'll squeeze you on another time. I really wanted to talk in this segment about two things. Number one, as Brother Sadiq and I were discussing before the previous break, celebrities, entertainers who make statements about not being a role model. So I want to talk about that. And then I want to talk about the role of coaching and mentoring. So let me start with the latter, and then I'll get back to the article about Cardi B. So I'm in a lot of arenas with a lot of coaches who I think they have the right intent. And I will say, and allow me for a moment to connect the dots with the story I mentioned about one of my mentees named Darrell. And I connected with Darrell back in 2004. If you guys are just joining us, I shared a story about meeting Darrell for the first time in this family, and I promise you, for 90 days, I could not connect with Darrell because every time I would go to his home, he would leave. And then month 3, maybe the 3rd or 4th week, I called him before he left, and I said to him, hold on, wait a minute. Let me just ask you a question. Do you like football? And he said he liked football. I said, okay, so this is what I want to do for you. I want to come get you Sunday morning and take you to one of my flag football games. And God be the glory, Darrell was waiting on his step Sunday morning when I pulled up, and we had a phenomenal bond that was built and established from that football. And I remember the progressive conversations that we had over time. His favorite football player was LaDainian Tomlinson from the San Diego Chargers. And he would watch his highlights and he would tell me what he liked about him. And we built our relationship off of one brown object. And that relationship that was built on that one brown object allowed me to connect with him, it allowed me to connect to his family. It allowed me to begin to have conversations with him about his education and the importance of education. It allowed me to hold him accountable, be it streets or be it schooling and things of that nature. It fostered a good relationship. So I marveled at how God used this one object to allow me to connect with this young man. And I remember being in another capacity where I was, I think at Garrison Middle School at one point, and I was connected to a brother. I apologize, his name escapes me offhand, but he had a mentoring program that he was running out of the basement. And if I'm not mistaken, he was connected to Wayland Baptist Church. And I remember just talking to him and him talking about the importance of consistency. And I asked him one day, you know, you mind if we use football as an activity? He said, sure, go right ahead. And at this particular time, what I want you guys to understand is that he didn't have a big influx at that time of young men or women in middle school who wanted to even be a part of the mentoring program. But one football, I promise you, brought about 20 young men to that program. So I'm saying that to say that sometimes we will find ourselves in situations. Now we're talking about mentoring young men in the hood culture. Most of our young brothers are very athletic. And I used to always say, and I personally believe that most of our athletes, our best athletes, we haven't even seen because most of them are incarcerated, unfortunately. I believe we have probably athletes that would have been better than Michael Jordan, but they chose a different path and now they're incarcerated. We have athletes that will be probably much better than any of the CrossFit athletes that we see now, the Fronins, but they made the wrong decisions and now they're in prison. And the list goes on. We think about the best football athletes, the Walter Paytons, the Emmitt Smiths, we think about the Floyd Mayweathers in boxing. But my point is, my opinion is that many of our best athletes, in my opinion, are incarcerated. So getting back to what I was mentioning about this mentoring program, one football was able to bring about 20 kids to that program, and God be the glory. And we're getting ready to go to a break, but coaches have the best opportunities, in my opinion, be it football, basketball, whatever you coach, to connect with the young person that's in the hood culture. So don't take these opportunities lightly. So when we come back from the break, we're going to dig a little deeper into that topic to talk about the coach's role, effective mentoring, and things of that nature. So stay tuned. This is the Conflict Resolution Show. We'll be right back.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
My name is Ruth Rusi. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child, and believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusi. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the
Just
shirt.
a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
You want to start off?
I think I'll get it out of the way on a who's not.
Okay, do it.
The Orioles.
Right.
They got swept by the Royals. They lost 4 in a row, and the last 5 games have all been decided by 1 run. The game before, or the last game that they lost before the Royals was the Nationals, and it was Weeders, of course, won with a home run.
Hit the home run.
Right.
They were going into that National series. It seemed like they were doing so well, and they just crapped out. They got that game postponed, so who knows when they're going to replay that or play that game. That's my.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, welcome back. Good people, I'm your host, Coach White. This is the Conflict Resolution Show. So this is the last 30 minutes of this segment. And I want to pick back up where we left off. So we were talking about coaching and mentoring. And I mentioned that I think that most of our greatest athletes we probably have never seen, because most of them are probably incarcerated due to making some choices or decisions that led to incarceration. And we have opportunities as coaches, be it football, be it basketball, lacrosse, track and field, whatever sports you can think of, we have opportunities to foster some really great relationships, some long-lasting relationships. I think of some of my the young men that I coached when I was coaching previously at Douglas High School. Shout out to Fred West, that I still have a connections with to this day. And shame on me if I didn't do any follow-up at all. Shame on me if I didn't live a life that patterned righteousness in their eyes. Shame on me if I didn't show a higher level of maturity shame on me if I've done anything in their presence that would lead them astray, because there's no better way, in my opinion, to connect with a young brother than to connect with him or her, for that matter. I know tonight we're specifically talking about the young brothers that we're losing to the streets and the hood culture. There's no better way, in my opinion, to connect with them and something that they enjoy and you enjoy, like football. So we have a lot of young men who are football and basketball athletes. And then we have maybe a lot of young coaches who are not setting the best example. So this is a night where I'm going to challenge you. If you're a coach, you're viewing the show tonight, I'm going to challenge you to look in your mirror and ask yourself, am I the best example for the youth that I'm coaching? Is the way that I speak, the way that I behave, the things that I do, the things that I say, all the same? Are they things that have a lasting impression in a way that can lead them in the right path? So I guess we can talk about what the right path is. The bottom line is, when we consider the right path, will God be pleased? When you look in your mirror, can you say to yourself that God is pleased by the example that I'm setting for the athletes that I'm coaching? Now, I've seen many coaches who, and it's no judgment, believe me, I respect anybody that mentors in the capacity of coaching, and I know it's not easy. But I've seen, I'm just sharing with you what I've witnessed, a lot of instances where a lot of coaches are coming to practices high. A lot of coaches reek of what they're smoking. Some coaches are or have been intoxicated. And that's your personal choice. If that's what you choose to do, then so be it. A lot of coaches are verbally abusive to the athletes that they coach. And I'm just asking you to look in your mirror and ask yourself, is God pleased with my behavior? Because if we're not careful, some of the things that they see in their communities, and on this show I've said many times that their first community is the community within the walls of their homes. So ask yourself, are you reinforcing the things that they hear and see in their homes? Or are you doing opposite? Are you giving them that light that they really need, if in fact they live in darkness? And we're going to be accountable. We're going to be accountable as mentors for the direction that we lead our mentees in. So, be very careful of the things you say. Be very careful of how you behave in those environments. We always say, even as parents, that our kids are watching us at all times. And I've said on this show previously that your spiritual food is who and what you watch, who and what you listen to, and what you read. So, Coach, are you reinforcing the negative things that they're already exposed to? Or are you that light for them? That's something that you got to ask yourself, because you have a great platform for mentoring. One football, one basketball, that's all it takes in a lot of instances. God can use those objects to draw kids. Now, what example are you setting before them as mentors? So I just want to leave that with you. And I want to kind of change the channel a little bit. We're still talking about the community conflict. We're still talking about how to reach and mentor young brothers in the hood culture. I'm going to shift a little slightly, because I think my young sisters are being slighted tonight by the show because of the topic. So I'm going to change gears. Brother Sadiq helped me out with the introduction to something I want to read to you guys. Depending on your age, as I mentioned earlier, you may remember Charles Barkley making this statement saying that I'm not your role model. But there's an article, if you look at sandrarose.com, about Cardi B. This was maybe presented February 8th of 2018. The article is called "I'm Not Your Daughter's Role Model." And I'm just going to read a little bit from this article. It says, quote, "Cardi B isn't interested in being a role model for your daughters." The 25-year-old Bronx rapper posted an Instagram photo of herself posing with adolescent girls. The image is from her cover story for ID magazine. In the caption, she wrote, quote, "I'm not trying to be this role model," in bold letters, "to these young girls because I'm very rated R and I'm not a perfect person. I wouldn't want to change for nobody neither," end quote. The rapper, who is still struggling to drop her second solo hit at the time, single, found fame when she was discovered on Instagram and signed to star on Love and Hip Hop New York. Cardi, who was born Belcalis, maybe, pardon if I mispronounced the spelling of the first name, Almanzar, was threatened by Crips gang members on Instagram.com after she posted a photo of herself wearing a blue fur coat. In the photo caption, the self-professed Bloods gang member wrote, quote, "I hate flu, but this coat was too poppin'," end quote. Flu, a merging of the words F-U-C-K and blue, is considered an insult to Crips gang members who dropped the letter B from their language. Crip members flooded Cardi's IG timeline with threats warning her not to attend upcoming NBA All-Star games. So that's the article. This is Cardi B on a picture with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 young, beautiful black princesses. And she's saying, "I'm not your daughter's role model." So I wanted to get your take on that. If you have joined us on the Conflict Resolution Show page, I would love for you to post your feedback. And if you want to call and be a part of the conversation, we have about 20 minutes left in the segment. Please, the number's on the bottom of the screen. Give us a call. I would love to get your feedback on this article. And the question that I have for you, are the celebrities and entertainers role models? Are they role models because of their platforms? Does the platform automatically make them role models? Now, Brother Sadiq mentioned that Cardi B in particular has a huge fan base. It's clear to me because of her quote, and I'm going to read this again. "I'm not trying to be this role model to these young girls because I'm very rated R and I'm not a perfect person. I wouldn't want to change for nobody neither." What is she really saying? What is the message in that quote? Let's pick it apart. "I'm not trying to be this role model to these young girls because I'm very rated R." So there's a correlation between rated R and role model. So is she implying, and I'm just asking for your opinion, is she implying that being rated R is not good role modeling? Is that the implication? Let me read this again. I'm not trying to be this role model to these young girls. Why? I'm interjecting the word why. Because the next word is because. Because I'm very rated R. Is that to say, this is my question to you as the viewer, is that to say that being rated R is not good role modeling? And then she says, and I'm not a perfect person. So, does perfection mean good role modeling? How do we define role modeling? Because as I'm picking this apart, what I gather from it, this is just my opinion, that role modeling is to be done by perfect people who are not rated R. And that's just my opinion. Again, I'm just looking at the quote. Then she says, I wouldn't want to change for nobody neither. So, does she have to change to become a role model? Does she have to be a perfect person and not rated R to be a role model? Can that be implied from this caption? Because, and I'm saying in my opinion for a reason, that's how I understand it to be. Now, I know that what the media does in some instances, they get a small picture and they want you to paint a larger picture from the small. But I don't really, I'm not privy to everything that was said. I only got a small portion of it. So far be it from me to draw a major conclusion from this. So I hope I'm not giving that off, or giving off that I'm trying to imply that. What I am doing is asking you, the viewer, how would you interpret this? It seems to me like role modeling is to be associated with perfection, with not being rated R, and with people who aren't willing to change so that they are not R-rated and so that they're more perfect. I'm just trying to figure this out, and this is just the psychology in me. This is the cognitive behavioral therapy study that I've encountered, and I'm just trying to pick this apart. And again, I'm not trying to judge Cardi B. She's probably a very phenomenal entertainer. I don't know. I don't listen to her. And I don't mean any disrespect. I'm just asking you as the viewer, because we're talking about this great community conflict that we have, and how do we reach and how do we mentor our now young sisters in the hood culture. And maybe this is an introduction for another topic. Maybe I need to invite some of you as a viewer. Maybe a viewer who is a female would love to entertain this conversation during the show. I would love to get your feedback. What is role modeling? Because I began this short segment after the break talking about rather being an entertainer is automatically, and I'm struggling to come up with the words, is that an automatic segue into mentoring? Is that an automatic platform for mentoring? Does our entertainers have the right to say, I don't want to be your role model? to the young brothers and sisters? Or is that something to be assumed when you take that platform? And I just want to get your take on it. What I am reading for the very first time is the context as it applies to the gang affiliations and the blue versus the red. And this is something that is new information for me. So I was talking earlier with Brother Sadiq about how all of our young brothers and sisters have mentors already. The question is, how are they being mentored? So for the young brother who is caught up in the gang, his mentor may be that OG. For the young brother that's caught up in selling drugs, his mentor may not necessarily be somebody that's older. His mentor may be somebody even in his age group who has a reputation for killing, who has a reputation for having a lot of money, getting a lot of respect, having a lot of women, having a lot of things. That may be his mentor. So everybody has a mentor. The question is, which path is your mentor leading you on? Are they leading you on the narrow path, or are they leading you on the wide path? Scripturally, when Jesus speaks about the wide path versus the narrow path, he says that the wide path is the way that leads to destruction. And the narrow path, and we're going to be breaking 30 seconds, the narrow path is the path that leads to life. So the question is, what path is your mentor leading you? The narrow path or the wide path? So we're going to go to a break. Stay tuned. This is the Conflict Resolution Show. We'll be right back.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, good people. So again, I am your host, Coach White. I'm very excited, but sad at the same time because we're going to close out in 10 minutes. So tonight we were talking about the community conflict that we face. How do we reach and mentor young brothers in the hood culture? We had Brother Sadiq on. He gave some really good feedback. And now we're at a place where I'm giving an introduction to a later topic because I neglected my young sisters. So at some point we're going to have a lady on who is going to be able to represent the young sisters and speak about what she has done in mentoring the young sisters. And I put something out there before we went to the break. And I said that everybody is really being mentored. The question is, who's mentoring you? And the second question is, where are they leading you? So if you're a coach, we talked a little bit about coaching and the roles of coaching as it applies to or pertains to mentoring. How are you leading? Are you setting the best example for the young athletes that you're mentoring? And in essence, as I said before the break, it's only two paths. We're either leading them on the narrow path that leads to life or the wide path that leads to destruction that many travel on. If you're a student of the scriptures, I encourage you to look at Matthew 7, where Jesus is talking about the two gates, the two roads, and the two destinations, and the two foundations as well, the rock and the sand. So it's very, very important to look back at that particular scripture, because at the end of the day, no matter whether you're mentoring directly or indirectly, you're probably mentoring. Somebody is watching you. And we were talking about celebrities. Rather, when they take that platform, are they automatically mentoring? Is that something that they can't just say, I'm not a role model or I'm not your mentor because of the platform? It's something that we need to really think about. So if you're a coach, I'm encouraging you to look in your mirror and ask yourself, are you being the best example for the mentees that you have? If you're a mentor, I'm asking you to look in your mirror. And if you're a mentee, I'm asking you, are you making yourself available to be mentored? And I'm encouraging you as well to look in your mirror and to begin to ask yourself, where am I being led? You know, a leader is not a leader unless they have followers, right? So where is my leader or mentor leading me? So that's the question we want to put out there tonight. And I'm very thankful for this time that I had on the show tonight. And as I look in my own mirror, I need to ask myself the same questions, because I'm accountable to the things that I mentioned on this show. I'm accountable to the questions that I ask. And I need to look in my own mirror and make sure that I'm being a good example to my mentors, my mentees. And if you are a mentee of mine and you are viewing the show tonight, I need your feedback. Sometimes it is very important to give your mentors feedback, because you can really tell us how we're doing. And it's easy for us to deceive ourselves into thinking that we're doing this great job when really we probably aren't doing the best that we really can. So I look for you, if you are my mentee, to tell me, what do you need from me? And as I said on the show before, I'm open to mentoring or establishing new mentees, specifically the young parents. If you are a young parent, I beseech you to reach out. You know, send me an email. It's darrellwhite.crs@gmail.com, and let's connect and let's build. Surely everybody has flaws, and to the Cardi B's, nobody is perfect, but God is. So the more we draw nearer to him, he'll draw nearer to us, and he will establish us, and he will strengthen us, and he will give us the knowledge and the compassion and everything that we need to be effective in our mentoring. So again, thank you. This was a great show. I hope you enjoyed it tonight. Thank you for inviting me into your kitchen, into your dining room, your living room, into your home. This is the Conflict Resolution Show, and we will see you next week. And I hope that you join in and enjoy your week. Have a fantastic, productive week. And thank you again. Bless you.
You use Tearless Baby Shampoo because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bathwater to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's time to move your child into the next type of seat? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the right seat. That's safercar.gov/the right seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help. He's very smart, but his mind wanders. He's disorganized.
I think I understand.
Oh, good.
Finding best potatoes for French fries.
No!
Russet, fingerling, Yukon Gold.
Why don't you understand me?
Sorry, I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com. I was meeting with a friend yesterday, and I've gotten to the point where don't ask me a question because the truth is going to come out.
Exactly.
Just don't do it.
If you ain't looking for the truth, don't come to me.
Don't do it because I can't hold my tongue. And she wants to be this stylist, boutique, but you're not doing anything in that nature. And I can't take you seriously if you're not doing those things. And I understood why people didn't take me seriously because I found myself in somebody else's lane. I was good at what I was doing and what I wanted to be, but I wasn't doing it for me. So how can I ask you to take me seriously if I'm living in somebody else's shoes?
And nobody can do what you do. And I think that that's a big problem that people face now. Like, you see what somebody else is doing and you want to do that when that's not your lane.
That's not your lane.
That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
But it's popular. It's getting that person money. It's getting that person applause. Oh, I want applause. I want money. Let me stand over here behind them.
And then a lot of times people aren't honest with themselves either. Like, I was thinking earlier today, I've been woke for almost 2 days, so so you get honesty, and I was thinking, like,
The Artist Exchange Radio Show.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
Here's what you missed on Salacious Life Radio.
You know, when it comes to your children, especially if you're dating someone that you actually like, you do want it to work. So you're gonna hope and encourage the relationship between your child and that person because you like that person, so you're gonna hope for the best. I mean, sometimes it just doesn't work and you can't make it work. You can't force it. It's like a branch. You keep bending it, eventually it'll snap, and even if you put it back together, it'll never be what it once was. But you definitely pray on it. You hope for the best, because like nobody wants to spend the rest of their life alone just because that a particular relationship didn't work out, but you had this beautiful creature as a result of it, you know, but you don't want to necessarily spend it, and you're not all of a sudden a bad person, you're not all of a sudden not going to fulfill this other person's needs.
You, madam, are a harlot and a scoundrel.
Because I had one kid while I was still married. Like,
but what if you?
I take that back.
What if the situation turns around the other way? So you ready for your child to meet? They meet the person, and this person is a giver. So this person's buying your child lots of gifts and wanting to.
I would usually.
Do you let?
You don't like if it's a birthday or some sort of holiday or something like that. Okay, and they want to get them a few things or get them something. Okay, but just on like a regular basis, like unless it's like Nestle's Quick or something that you can get from, like, you know what I'm saying, or like Kit Kats or something like that. Like, no, don't spend a lot of money on.
It's unrealistic. I'm sorry.
It's unrealistic. Like, don't try to buy his.
Tune in live to Salacious Life Radio every Wednesday from 9 to 11, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
My name is Ruth Rusi. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusi. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
My name is Meera Batra. I have been in this country 32 years, and this is how I live united. America has always been the land of promise, and in my community, many families have come for a better life. Coming from another culture myself, I know the desire to become part of a community, to feel at home, and to gain the tools for our children and families to succeed. So I advocate for these families with United Way. United Way empowers them to look beyond their histories and to see what opportunities are available. We help them get involved with their kids' schools, network within the community, and when we do, we unite them. We make the community stronger. What I do is something I wish someone had done for me, and I am so grateful I am able to. My name is Meera Batra. I help families see opportunities and succeed. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Take a minute and listen to this flashback of the old school Brouhaha radio show.
I'll give her a second to answer that. Oh, can I had one more question for the cards. I'm going to think the question and just pull.
Do you want a specific deck or
do whatever you want?
And I'm going to do the same exact thing in a minute and silently ask.
Okay. A quick read. A quick.
Just a quick.
Here you go. I'm going to do it for you. Espérate. I didn't ask it yet.
I don't think it matters.
Okay, I'm asking it now. Stop playing. Done. Water. Done. Okay, you're done. I look, I'm shuffling. Alright. Which does it?
What's that?
Okay, so 3 of swords. This is a love triangle. This is uno, dos, tres. So there's 1 in the middle and there's 2 on the outside. This is also the card of disappointment, broken promises, some hurtful wounds. Oh, really? Yeah. You asked. Wow. Okay. So interesting. One of the swords is very loyal. Oh wait.
Shut up.
That was the last thing. Let yourself receive. And then the words of the wonderful Cardi B. And clean it up. So this is it. To clean some shit up. Did you want to do this on camera? Okay.
You didn't need no comment. You didn't
always come for me.
And I'll hold my question for when we go to break.
Okay, because we are 1 minute away, but...
Join us every Tuesday at 9 p.m. for Old School Bruja Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
You want to start off?
I think I'll get it out of the way on a who's not.
Okay, do it.
The Orioles.
Right.
They got swept by the Royals. They lost 4 in a row, and the last 5 games have all been decided by 1 run. The game before, or the last game that they lost before the Royals was the Nationals, and it was Weeders, of course, one with a home run.
Hit the home run.
Right. They were going into that national series. It seemed like they were doing so well, and they just crapped out. They got that game postponed, so who knows when they're going to replay that or play that game. That's my first not for the night.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and weigh in on my who's not, and I'm going to talk about the San Diego Padres.
The Padres. That's okay. You just took my answer.
They're in last place in